Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
What did we do so bad in God's eye for him to let us go our own way?
Got you.
Like basically, because you know once you walk away from God, you walking out of like heavenly protection.
So check this out.
And once he stopped protecting us, why would he? What did we do so bad that we did for God to let us go and allow a white man to steal our history, our culture, and flip it off, not just a white man, but a white society, to flip the history around and make it only so that it benefits them? What did we do?
All right, so I'm about to answer your question. So the brother said, what did we do that was so bad, right? Because our people don't know the history. Like if I was to ask you, what was our history before we came over here on the ships?
That's what I want to know.
We don't know, right?
We don't know.
We don't know, right? Watch this, 1-on-1.
We don't know.
Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1.
And not only do we not know, then today we get confused about this right here. We think it's a religious book, a fairy tale book. They got all these different versions and all of that.
That's the part
it's confusing, right? Watch this. Watch. I'm gonna clear it up for you. Watch this. 1-on-1.
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So what? It says, these be the words Moses spake unto who?
All Israel.
So, and today, right now, 2023, when you hear Israel, you think of some white people. You understand that? You think of white Jewish people.
Israel.
You think of Jewish, which is white. So if I was to say, let's talk about that. If I was to say, meet me around the block around 5-ish, is that 5 o'clock? Is that 5:15, 5:30? What is that? When you put that ish on it, what is that?
Anywhere around 5.
Anywhere around. So it's not exactly 5, right?
Yeah.
If I say your shorts is bluish, that means it's not quite blue, right?
It got blue in it though.
It's the same with Jewish, because there ain't no Jewish in the Bible. You got Jews, and look, Jews is short for Judah, which is a tribe.
I never heard that.
Not Jewish. Jewish is made up.
That's why we came over here to learn.
But watch this. Hold up. It gets worse. It gets more. 1-on-1. Read that again. Listen up. It gets more. Read.
Deuteronomy 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So Moses is speaking to who? Israel. So now we're going to read, because you said, what do we do so bad? 28 and 15. Watch this. So Moses is talking to Israel. Y'all heard of the story? Moses parted the sea and people walked through. He's talking to those people. We're going to find out who those people are. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
It says, but it shall come to pass, meaning in the future, right? Read.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If y'all don't listen to God,
to observe, to do all his commandments.
To do what?
All his commandments.
Watch this, read.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So Moses said, hey, y'all Israelites, if you don't listen to God, if you don't do his commandments, what's going to happen? Read.
That all these curses.
Let me ask you, is a curse, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Bad thing.
A curse is a bad thing. We can agree on that, right? Read.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
The curses are going to come upon you, Israel. So now I'm going to just read just a few curses, and you tell me who this applies to. Does this apply to the Jewish people? Maybe it applies to the Arabs. Maybe it applies to the Chinese people. You tell me. Let's go to next verse. Watch this.
Verse 16. Curse shalt thou be in the city.
So one curse, Moses said, if y'all don't hearken, do the commandments, you're going to be cursed in the city. Let's deal with that real quick. Think about Baltimore, DC, New York, Chicago,
Philly,
LA, Philly, anywhere you go, who's cursed in the city? Who cursed in the city?
Bring it out.
Is it the Chinese people?
Bring it out.
Matter of fact, if you go to China, who's cursed in their cities? Is it the Chinese people? Who over there cursed in their city?
I get that part, but I'm
hold up. I don't get what you're saying. I'm gonna bring it full circle, but let's deal with who's cursed in the city. Black people is cursed in the city.
That's
right. Why are we cursed in the city? What did Moses say in verse 15? If you don't do what?
What I say.
If you don't do the commandments.
So why didn't we abide by the commandments?
So I'm gonna ask you.
I thought the commandments was disobedient, bro.
So why don't we abide by? That's a good question. So if I was to say to you right now, let's get you see what I'm saying? No,
we don't abide.
That's what I'm getting at. The Bible says
the white man. What I'm saying, the white man did.
Look, we ain't worried about the white man. We ain't even got to talk about them right now.
What is it?
We talking about us.
Right.
The scriptures say we're not supposed to smoke.
Right.
Do y'all smoke? Why don't we abide by the commandments? It's because we're going away after our own lust. You understand that? Right. So watch this. We're going to keep reading. Watch this. Keep reading.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
So it said, cursed shalt thou be in the city. Read.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Who was cursed in the field? Who was picking cotton, sugar cane, all that?
And the motherfucking wheat, all that shit.
Does this apply? Now I want y'all to understand the point that I'm trying to get y'all to see. Listen up. This is the point though. Does this apply to everybody on the earth?
Not right now.
So far what I'm reading, this don't apply to everybody. But you'll go into the church and they make this book apply to everybody. It's not for everybody, right? Watch this. Why? Because remember, I'm answering your question. Why is it only happening to us, right? Read, go to 48. Go to 48. Watch this. Tell me who this applies to.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Now remember, this happening because we broke the commandments. Remember, the scriptures say we're supposed to keep the Sabbath day. We're supposed to grow our beards. We're not supposed to eat pork, shrimp, crab. We're not supposed to do that type of stuff. We're not supposed to be having sex with different women. We're supposed to have one wife. So the Most High, like, listen, since y'all don't want to do nothing I'm telling y'all to do, I'm about to curse y'all all over the world. Understand? Watch this. Read this.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So according to that, who sent the enemies against us? The Lord. The Lord. This ain't no white man in the sky with hugs and kisses and nah, that's not the Bible. Understand it. Remember, the Most High God killed all the firstborns of Egypt. The Most High God flooded the earth. We're not dealing with no soft God in the sky that they preach in the church.
That's right.
Come as you are, you can be a homosexual. That's not in the Bible.
That's right.
Understand that. Read. Watch this.
In hunger.
So we're going to serve our enemies in hunger. Now, if we want to get food, where we go get our food from? Supermarket, right? Who owns the supermarket?
That's the white man.
Who owns the farms? Who does that apply to the Chinese people?
Yeah.
They got a country. They got their own country.
No, that don't matter. They still own that shit.
Who? The white man? So the white man owns the foods in China?
I believe.
No, that's false. That's not true. Look, listen, they got their own currency.
They got their own everything.
They got their own military.
I don't believe that. I mean, I believe in
Now,
some parts.
don't get it twisted. They got the power to go take shit over.
I'm saying, I think it's niggas in that, white people in there.
But I'm saying as a whole. For example,
I don't think so. That's in my opinion.
there's a China. Hold up. No, check this out. Check this out. There's a Chinatown in D.C. Right? They got a Chinatown. Is there a black town anywhere?
No, nowhere.
We don't have nothing. It's the point.
It's the hood.
You understand that? Watch this.
In hunger.
So we got to serve our enemies in hunger. That don't apply to everybody. If shit pop off, if something pop off, they can go back to their own country. Yeah. The Arabs, they can go back to the Middle East, the so-called Middle East. The Indians, they can go back. Where we gonna go? This don't apply to everybody, right? So the reason why you think the Bible is misinterpreted and all of that is because you're thinking of this. They taught us this. They didn't teach us. Remember, in slavery, we couldn't read or write. So we're just going off of what we hearing. They never changed nothing. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Watch this, keep reading.
And in thirst.
So in thirst, deer park, your water, everything we get from other people. Read.
And in nakedness.
The clothes. We got to get everything from other people, from white people, from Chinese. That don't apply to them. That's because we broke God's commandments. Watch this, read.
And in want of all things.
And one of all things, if you want to get a driver's license, birth certificate, death certificate, your Visa card, what else? Anything. Do that apply? That don't apply to everybody, right? Why is this important? Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So now it's getting specific. The same people we gotta serve is gonna put a yoke of iron around your neck. Does this apply to everybody? No. Who did this happen to? Us. Why is this important? This is what you're reading right now is now history, but this at one point in time this was prophecy. This is a prediction that came to pass. That's how we know this book is real.
That's it.
You understand that? That's how we know the book is real.
This book, all this shit was written before we even went into slavery.
Boom. Watch this, 2868. That's how we know it's real. You can't manipulate that. Can't no man predict to the T what's going to happen. How do we get over here to America?
How did we? Well, because they brought us here. We was enslaved.
Now watch this, 2868.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Now remember, Moses is speaking to Israel, right? Today we call ourselves black. Back then, we was Israel. Right. Israelites, Jews.
At one point in time, there was no such thing as a race anyway.
Well, no, that's not true. That's not true.
Europeans.
Well, the names.
It was about where you was from.
Exactly. It was about the bloodline, the seed. Yeah. It wasn't about color. You're right about that. It was about the seed. Like you ever watch an older movie and somebody would say, I'm Joe from the house of.
Yeah, that was his last name or something like that.
Exactly. Right. That's how they identify. Read that. Watch this though. Watch this.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 68.
This was written thousands of years ago. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So he said the Lord gonna bring you Israelites into Egypt again with ships. Get Egypt. What's Egypt talking about?
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Out of Egypt? What's Egypt?
Out of the house of bondage.
Egypt is the house of bondage. Slavery. Egypt is the same thing as slavery. You understand that? Now read that again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So how do we get over here? How do we get over? How we get over here?
On ships.
Who that happened to?
Us.
Who is us?
Israelites.
It happened to Israelites. So when we ask you, what's your nationality? We're not black. We're not African American. You're not going to read this in the Quran. That's the Arab people religion. You know why we're Muslims today? Because in Africa, hey look, in Africa, you said the Bible? I'm gonna ask you about
I got a question after that, because you just said, right, that if you bring it into Egypt, and you said slaves will be brought into Egypt, and the Egypt is known as bondage, right?
Yes, sir.
So why do they, if Egypt is bondage and that means slavery, why everything about Egypt is black? Like everything about Egypt is like kings and queens. We came from kings.
The brother asked a great question.
All that.
Hey, so brother walking by, the brother asked a great question. He said, if Egypt is black, and we brought into Egypt on ships. So somebody give me the Bible Compact Dictionary and give me a hand. Because I'm gonna ask you this. Chinese people and Japanese people, are they the same people?
No.
Okay, but they look the same, right? You got Arabs and East Indians. Are they the same people?
No.
But they look the same, right? So why do you think all black people are the same?
Bring it out.
We look the same.
Exactly, but we not the same.
That don't mean we come from the same.
Watch this. That's a good question. Watch this.
That don't mean we all.
Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary.
Hey, brother, listen up. We going over the slave trade. Did blacks sell other blacks into slavery? Watch this. Read.
Page 213. Definition of Ham.
Ham.
The youngest son of Noah.
So Noah had 3 sons: Ham, Japheth, and Shem. Right? Watch this. We dealing with Ham. Read.
Born probably about 96 years before the flood. And one of 8 persons to live through the flood.
Watch this.
He became the progenitor.
So he became the progenitor. That means he became the forefather of. Progenitor means forefather. Watch this. Read.
Of the dark races.
So this dark races on this earth. He became the forefather of the dark races, but what?
Not the Negro.
Read that again.
Not the Negroes.
So not us, the Negroes, but who?
But the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
So the who, start from the top, the Egyptians. So he's the forefather of the Egyptians. But hold up, not the Negroes. So here in America, we think we was kings and queens in Egypt. No. The same way we were slaves in America, we was slaves in Egypt.
That's right. That's right.
And we got proof upon proof to show you. I'm not just saying it. Get Exodus 7 and 11. Watch this. 11 and 7. Watch this. So what we're showing you is like how you just said. Back in those days, they went off a bloodline. It wasn't about skin color. So even though the Egyptians are black and we're black, we're not the same. You understand that?
Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7.
Read.
But against any of the children of Israel.
So who the children of Israel? That's us. You know how we know that? Because we came over here on ships.
That's right.
How do we know that? Because we are the ones cursed in the city. You see how the connection is? That's how we know we are Israel. Because of the curses. Read.
Shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference.
The Lord put a difference between who?
Between the Egyptians.
Between the Africans.
And Israel.
And Israel. We are not African. We're the Hebrews.
That's right.
We both black. We both live on that landmass today called Africa. But that don't mean we African. That don't mean we have the same blood in our veins. We understand that?
Right.
When we came over here on ships, did they come over here and try to save us? Hell no, we're not the same people.
Right.
Understand that. Have you ever talked to a real, have you ever talked to a real African before? Do they even like us?
No. Bring it out.
No. Hell no.
Because they know we not the same people. We the only ones that's got this white man in our mind and we think we supposed to love everybody. Everybody else doing what they supposed to do. They keep their money within themselves. They live within themselves. They raise their kids. Hey, yo, don't talk to them. Don't bring no nigga home. Y'all heard that before? We the only ones that just loving everybody.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word